Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have with me the POCO F7 Ultra, and I'm going to tell you what I liked most and least about it after testing it. So as always, let me tell you not to buy the POCO F7 Ultra without watching this video. Let's consider its launch price, which has been 14,499 pesos. We must also take into account that the POCO F7 Ultra has a shorter life cycle. For some reason, the brand lives at a very accelerated pace. This gives us to understand that the life cycle of their products seems to be a little shorter than we would like, although they are obviously very competitive devices at the price level. However, you should be aware that purchasing one of these means it's almost guaranteed that the next generation will be released shortly after. Unlike most brands, they won't wait a full year. Now, let's begin by discussing what I like the most about it. To begin with, it includes IP68, which I would say is basic, yet there are still some devices at this price point lacking this water resistance level, so it's quite decent. Additionally, we will discover a flagship screen that supports HDR content and Dolby Vision, so you're going to be able to really enjoy the content in a very positive way. It will also allow us to have independent volume of applications, to have several applications playing at the same time, and to be able to adjust the volume level of each of them individually. I think that is always a very positive section. Plus, we'll find a telephoto camera with about 2.5 times optical zoom. I believe it competes well at its price. While it might not be the most spectacular telephoto phone camera, it will still be the best camera available. It doesn't actually help much. Historically, it has not been a manufacturer that stands out much in cameras, but it seems to me that from this generation it began to improve significantly. For example, it gives us good backlight balance with any of the three rear cameras, which I think can become outstanding. In fact, also the telephoto camera is able to take macro photos with a good quality, and it can also record video in 4K with this macro mode, which is going to give some interesting results. If you really like to take pictures or record small objects, I think this device can be very good. Plus, its 120-watt charger is included in the box. In my test, it charged from 0 totally off to 46 in just 15 minutes, and the full charge from 0 to 100 was finished in 41 minutes. And taking into account that it's advised to charge it when it reaches 15 to 20%, I would estimate that your charging sessions will last around 30 minutes.
Now, if you wanted to charge it all the way up to 100%, then that's absolutely perfect. Actually, it also offers support for 50 watts wireless charging.
However, you would indeed need to purchase your charger separately, and it is not a magnetic charge. Therefore, you must align it very precisely if you want to fully take advantage of this maximum power. It also supports Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 6. We have excellent speed and stability, and it includes infrared, allowing you to use it as a universal remote control. And, well, if that wasn't enough, it comes equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Elite. It's a complete gaming powerhouse. If you're a gamer, this device will definitely not let you down. As always, Little puts a strong emphasis on high-performance users, so if you're looking for a lot of power, you can truly enjoy it here. Now, here's what I disliked. Like all devices of this brand, its distribution is very tight, so it is not so easy to find it in physical stores. In fact, you can only find it in physical Xiaomi stores. Online, you can find it perhaps with a little more distributors, but I think it is an obstacle for those who do not want to buy online. Its design, the truth is that I did not like it, although that may be personal taste, but the truth is that in this generation still, I didn't like the design. Additionally, it's interesting to note that the software isn't fully optimized yet. For instance, in certain applications, you might observe that the screen refresh rate can decrease to 60 frames per second. When this happens, scrolling can appear a bit odd. However, when you switch to another application, it suddenly becomes smooth again at 120 frames per second. It's quite peculiar. Moreover, it's important to mention that the software doesn't include a headphone jack. Considering this is a phone that emphasizes high performance for gamers, I believe having a headphone jack would have been a valuable feature to include. The selfies, as is typical for this brand, are of lower quality, which doesn't match the expectations for this price range. Furthermore, if you're particular about photography, you'll observe that the three rear cameras struggle to maintain consistent color, making them seem like entirely different cameras from one another. Additionally, when recording video with backlighting, you'll notice it can become quite shaky. It struggles to balance highlights and shadows effectively, which is odd given its powerful processor. However, there appears to be a lack of proper optimization regarding sensor usage. Additionally, the front camera performs quite poorly when recording video. Another significant issue is the one-handed usage mode. For instance, if I want to tap the themes icon and my hand can reach it, I activate this mode and it completely disappears. It's terrible. With such a powerful processor, the energy consumption during high-demand tasks will naturally be high. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about POCO renewing this series so quickly? Do you think it performs well? How does it handle cameras, and has it had? Is it resistant or not? Share your thoughts in the comments, as others considering this device might benefit from your experience. As of now, we have come to the conclusion of this video.